Hello, so today I'm gonna talk about this exercise. I'm gonna give my students to the instruction to write an essay, and they have intermediate level. So we're going to cover some four topics about assessment. First one, we're going to talk about self-assessment techniques. So I would use a couple techniques in order to help them. The first one is giving them beforehand a checklist so they can know and check um, the contents that I want them to cover during all the essay, so they don't miss any part that I'd like them to have in their essay. Next one is I will give them also beforehand a rubric, so they will know the punctuation I'm gonna give and what I'm going to make important. What I want to see in the essay. So I think this will help a lot to the students because they will help them involved and develop an autonomy and an independency because they will not have to ask or depend of the teacher, and they will know the information beforehand to make sure they know what I'm asking for them to make. So moving on with the second part, formative assessment strategies. So I will ask them to give me a draft of the essay they are making, and formative assessment keyword here is to assist assist them, and I will check and make some small corrections in the process so they can like improve what they are doing and without putting this in the final presentation. So the aim here is to evaluate the effectiveness of learning, and I will check all the information gathered during the process, which is what it's important in formative assessment. And also, I will identify the weakness and the strengths of my students here, and I will notice that and help them to improve. So now talking about the peer assessment integration before I receive all the final essays, I will first ask them to exchange their essays, and I will put on the board the rubric that I mentioned first, and I will ask them to evaluate and check their classmates' exercise, having as a model the rubric that is on the board. So what is important here is to always incent and talk about positive comments. I have to encourage and make sure that all the feedback it's going to be positive. And also, what is important here is that the students will learn how to identify weakness and strengths that maybe they didn't find by themselves, but because of their classmates, which is good for them also. And as I mentioned, talking about weaknesses and strengths, and also all the time encourage positive comments. Finally, the overall impact, talking about the combinations of the self assessment, peer assessment, and the formative assessment. I think self assessment fosters the reflection and ownership. As I mentioned, independency it's very important. And peer assessment, they build collaboration and encourage evaluating, like critical evaluation of their classmates. Also, formative assessment, it's a feedback that ensures students improve as they work. And as a conclusion, I can mention that all these combinations will make a continuous improvement of the student, and having as a product they develop their confidence and their independency, and at the end of all this process, they will hand out a product which is would have good quality. And also during all the way they develop extra skills besides just the content of creating an essay. They learn how to give positive feedback, how they can assess their classmates, and that's important thing also that they can learn, which is, I think, at the end of the day, very important and very good. Thank you.